Hey guys, this is Will of TyBL and welcome back to our channel. It's been a while since I have done a spoiler video on this channel. A Tale of Thousand Stars was the last BL I have made spoiler videos about, and it was a really good experience since we could see the differences between the drama and the novel. With Bad Buddy, the series already starts airing last Friday. Our spoiler and how the series is different from the novel videos are also now back for every week. If you don't like to be spoiled for the succeeding episodes of Bad Buddy, you can still watch these videos after watching the latest episodes of this series. In this video, I'll be sharing mostly my opinion about the first episode, its differences from the novel, and some scenes we could expect for next week's episode. Anyway, if you live in a different country and some BL series are not available to yours, you can use ExpressVPN to watch those restricted series. Use the link on the description below to have 49% discount and 3 months free if you opt to avail the 12-month plan. Without further ado, let's get right into the video. Before anything else, I'd like to tell you that I have only read the first 5 chapters of the novel so I could follow the pacing of the series. Bad Buddy, the series could only showcase a couple of minutes for the relationship of Pat and Pran in the beginning of the story, but in the novel, the writer could go on forever for their detailed background story. For those who are wondering, in the first episode, Pat and Pran are actually not super enemies like their gangs. There are a lot of scenes in the series that I haven't read in the novel, and there are also scenes from the novel that were not in the first episode. Unlike in the first episode, the reason why their gangs are always in constant fight with one another is because they only want to win from one another, even if there's no absolute reason to do it. They just want to fight one another. The novel scenes are actually a bit more brutal when it comes to Pat and Pran. They really hurt a lot when their gangs encounter one another. When the first fight occurred in the novel, Pa urged Pat to apologize to Pran for what he did. Pa also insisted that she won't be curing his brother's wounds and also said that he should come to Pran instead. The next scene in the novel was when Pat went to Pran's room. Pat bugged Pran to just treat his wounds because he no longer has cotton swabs in his room. In the end, Pran just decided to treat the wounds of Pat. This is just actually a minor thing in the series, but I want to point out its difference with the novel. In the series, when Pa suddenly got drowned in the lake, Pran immediately helped her to get out of the water. Unlike in the series, Pat was actually couldn't move to save his sister because he couldn't also even swim. He only got back into his senses when Pran punched him on his face and asked him if he didn't want to save his little sister. That's also the beginning of them not being friends but also not being enemies with one another. The series actually does not imply this yet obviously, but in the novel, there were moments that both of them showed that they like each other although they don't talk about it. Pat always wants to annoy Pran by going into his room while Pran is being annoyed at Pat for being so messy. Another difference of the series from the novel is the encounter at the bar. In the series, it was only Y and some of their friends who were at the bar when the fight with Pat's gang erupted. In the novel, Pran and his friends were at the shop drinking after their stressful day with their thesis. Suddenly, Pat and his friends also entered the shop with a smirk on the face of the former. Y said to his friends that every one of them are now in a bad mood because of the faces of their enemies. Pran helped them to calm down and said that Pat's gang are just like that and they should not focus on them. Y answered Pran that it will only happen if the other party won't mess with them. After a couple of hours, Pran is seen lying down on his sofa while feeling the pain on his body because of the fight. Suddenly, Pat was knocking on his door and said that it was Korn who started the fight. Very much the same Korn who started the fight in the last part of episode 1. I don't know if this part of the novel would be included in the series, but I found this part really cute. Before that, Pat actually has a rabbit doll that he always hugs when sleeping. There was a time that Pat slept on Pran's room because Pa did not want him to enter the room for having a fist fight with Pran. Pat brought his rabbit doll along with him when he slept at Pran's room. One day when Pat was so drunk, he went to Pran's room to get his rabbit doll, but it was only a way of Pat to sneak into Pran's room to sleep again. When Pran was so angry at Pat, the latter apologized at him and acknowledged Pran like his dear wife. Of course that made Pran more angry at him, so Pat apologized again for being so messy on Pran's room. When Pran calmed down after talking to Pat, the mind of Pat realized that Pran wasn't that fierce at all. He even said on his mind that his Pran is actually cute. Bad Buddy the series is one of the most anticipated BL series for this year, and I think the episode 1 actually started the series strong for the story. Just like what most fans said, the wait for so many months is actually worth it. The usual aura of Thai BL is recognizable in the first episode, and it's actually a good thing if I were to be asked. The chemistry of Om and Nanan is what makes this series even better because there was no awkwardness between the two. I felt that the thing going on between them is truly natural in front of the camera, and that made the series even more believable. The pacing of the series might be faster than you might anticipate, but it's actually the same with that of the novel. Overall, Bad Buddy is in a good start, and I'm anticipating for more surprises towards the series. Just a reminder that this spoiler video is only based on the novel, so take it with a grain of salt. This video is only for those who want to know more about Bad Buddy in the novel side in order to compare it with that of the series. What do you think of the first episode of Bad Buddy? Thank you for watching. That's it, and see you on the next one.